everyone, and welcome to today. I can't wait to show you all the things I'm doing in today's episode of Homestead Tessie.
They call me Homestead and Tessie. It's a name I wear proudly. I wouldn't trade it for the most famous names in the world. No, I don't need that rich kind of life.
Well, it's time to go to Wise Market. Once a month we like to go there and we get water. I'm going to share with you a little bit as to why we buy water and what I want to do maybe different this winter. As I'm trying to live a more sustainable life, the problem I have is with our water situation. We have high nitrates here in our area, and the Berkey does not take out the nitrates. And we could go to the spring, but that's 20 minutes away, and it's a lot of gas. So we were buying bottled water. That's one thing that I just really want to work on in the future here, because I am working on a lot of things which you will be seeing in upcoming videos. But you know, we all have these situations where it's kind of hard to figure out what we want to do with certain habits and certain things that aren't very sustainable, and that is our water. But we are going here to Wise Markets to get our water. It is locally manufactured, so the water is local to us. We feel better than maybe some of the major name brand waters like Deer Park and things like that. Of course, I always try to see the meat section. Did you hear that meat's going to go up another 50 to 75% higher? Well, it's true. Not in this video, but I recently went and they wanted $15 per pound of ground beef, and I am not kidding you, and that's at a discount grocery store. But I'm really choosy about the meat that I get because, well, sometimes it doesn't look very fresh. So we're just gonna look around here real quick. And now we're gonna go to the water section, and we are going to purchase our water once a month. If you have any ideas of what we could do about our water situation, you could let us know. We could probably get another kind of a filter. I don't know how that works, but if the Berkey doesn't take out nitrates, I don't think any other thing will either. Osmosis, I think maybe could. I don't know. But now we are looking at the breads. And I do like shopping here to see if I can find anything because it's usually 50 to 75% off. And I love their Italian bread, and if I can find some bagels and things like that. And of course you saw that I spotted that, and I was looking at the price, and I found some. I make my own homemade bread. I know. The bagels will come soon. I have everything to make my own bagels, but for some reason I am just dragging my feet on the whole thing. I'm not sure why after trying everything else, but we're always going to learn, live and learn, right? Did you know most grocery stores have a clearance section? It's usually in the back part of the building. And there was a clearance section here in the freezer part, but I have a lot of food, so I really don't need to get anything unless it's a really good deal. If you ever see me in the grocery store, you see me now, you won't see me later. I'm so quick at the grocery when I shop at the grocery store. I go in the building, run out, and that's it. I don't spend a lot of time grocery shopping, but I do have to look at all the bargains. All right, now for me, growing food is almost all year round. This was parsley that I had in a container, and it was getting pot bound or root bound, so my grandma would call it. I decided to plant it in the double planters here. These were old wash tubs. I'm sprinkling some spinach seeds, and so far they didn't really germinate. I don't know if it's too hot yet for them or what. Normally they germinate pretty quickly, but I'm going to do some work here at the homestead and get some of this stuff done. There's always chores to do and always hobbies that I like to pursue. I'm always thinking of new things. I like to keep myself busy, and that is just tending to all my little buildings and spending time out there. I've always wanted a playhouse when I was a little girl, and we lived in town. So I didn't grow up with farming as far as having a garden and all of the things that you find in the country. We actually lived right almost in town. And so I used to make believe and pretend that I was in Little House and Pray, but now I actually can live it. And you don't need a lot of ground to be able to do that. My mom was very particular with her manicured lawns, and her flowers were just perfect. We weren't really allowed to pick a lot of them, but sometimes I would pick them and pretend I was cooking outside. Who knew at age 55 years old I would be living this dream? So now I have all my playhouses, and I can do whatever I wish in them, and I can decorate them, and I can pick all the flowers that I want, and it's my life dream. Creating cozy little spots where I can just sit and relax and read and contemplate about all life's problems and issues. I really this year started living very intentionally. And in doing so, I found so much more peace and happiness in my life. They say you're never too old to learn new things, and I've been learning a lot of things recently. They also say we all have a child in us and childlike dreams, and I sure am childlike, and that's obvious in my videos and in my demeanor and in my personality, but that's how I've always been. My daddy was the same way. Now he was like a child, and I get that all from him. So what I'm doing here is I'm redecorating this whole little area. I do this often. You will see things change from one day to the next, and it's just how I've always been. I like to try new things and see what things look better, and I just love decorating with the things that I already have. Back when I lived on the farm, that is what I learned to do because I didn't have much money and I was home all the time with 3 small children. I decided just to rearrange the furniture. Harvesting all of the food from my garden, and I'm making some fresh salsa. And this is so good. We love eating this in salads, plain, on burgers. It's with Fresh Express. And so it's called Fresh Express is the name of the seasoning. And I just love that. Well, everyone, thanks again for stopping in Dew Valley. And I'm finishing up some of my projects here. And this was my infused oil, which I'm going to be making a little bit of salve. In the years past, I would make so much of it that I couldn't even use it all. Now I tend to just make one little bit at a time. My little potting shed now is my herbal shed, and that's where I have all of my dried flowers. And I'll be able to use that all winter long. Yes, my friends, I have boots on. No more wearing flip-flops when I'm using this little tiller. This little tiller works amazing, and it's on a battery. I don't have to pay gas to run it, and it's real quiet. The garden is still flourishing, and it's just such a joy to be in this garden. All of the herbs and all of the amazing flowers that I have growing this year, and lots of vegetables too. I really enjoyed using my sun oven only as a dehydrator this year, and I'm learning new skills using that instead of paying electric for a dehydrator. And it works really good. Well, my friends, thanks for watching another session of Homestead Tessie, and it's welcome home, more like it, and I'll see you guys again on the next one. Bye, everybody.